Hello students, welcome to Journal 371. We're in week 3 and one of the main concepts around this week is the pitch letter. So we'll spend a lot of time in this lecture going through that for your writing assignment number 2. Week 3 agenda tells us that we are reading pages 111 through 62 on the Sloan White text and page 103 through 56 of the Ragland text. You're also completing your reflection number 2, which is due on Friday, with your reply post due on Sunday. Your writing assignment number 2 is due on Sunday, as well as the blog number 3. So the blog number 3 is just a continuation of the topic you've been working on thus far this semester. You'll write your second entry related towards your topic. It needs to be at least 200 words, and you need to provide at least 2 comments to 2 other blogs within the course. Writing assignment number 3 asks you to write a query or pitch letter. Those terms are synonymous. The more formal term related to a pitch letter is a query letter, because you are querying a publication about work or writing a paper or a story for them. The new term, well, not a new term, but a more informal term is related to a pitch letter. Really, essentially, you're pitching your idea to a publication of your choice. You are not submitting this to the publication. I mean, you are able to do that if you would like to, but you are not required to actually submit the query or pitch letter to the publication. You just need to develop it for a specific publication you would like to write to. So some people choose Parents Magazine, Better Home and Gardens, ESPN Magazine. There's lots of different choices. What you'll need to do is go to the specific website of that organization or that publication you'd like to write for. Find in their Contact Us section how to submit freelance submissions. It will be in there. It's probably going to be buried somewhere in Contact Us or solicitations or freelancers or things of that nature, and get all the information needed about that. If there is not any obvious information for freelancers to pitch to them, then go to the Contact Us section on their website. Get all the information on how to contact them either by snail mail or through email, and include that information in your letter. Your pitch letter itself is no more than 3 paragraphs. It includes a hook, which is the first paragraph, the details about your article that you'd like to write for them in the second paragraph, and then the third paragraph is your credentials. We're going to go through this extensively in this lecture, so I'm not going to get into too much detail right now about that. Your reflection number 2 asks you to look at secrets 6, 7, and 8 in the Sloan White text and determine how you could successfully apply this to a freelance business. How do they relate to any job? Point out some important things you've learned from those chapters and from those secrets and how it all relates. Remember, your posts do need to be a minimum of 200 words, and they need to be submitted on Friday, and your replies need to be submitted on Sunday. As we move through with this information, do keep in mind that let's kind of address what a pitch letter is. So a pitch letter really is just a brief introductory letter to a subject you plan to cover in more detail. It can cover details of a campaign or a media kit, a press release, any of that information. Really, a pitch letter is something that you would provide to reporters, editors, news directors, those that have an interest in actually picking up what you want to write or cover for them as a reporter. For their media organization. The point is to pique the interest of the media professionals you are contacting, so they will want to hire you as a freelancer. Some things to keep in mind. You need to keep it short, and you need to get to the point quickly. You need to know your audience as well as your medium, target them precisely, and offer newsworthy topics as well as following guidelines, and don't necessarily send attachments. So what we're getting at in this point is that when you are looking at this particular thing, you will pick a publication that you feel is suited to your genre or needs. You do not necessarily have to focus on what the nature of your blog topic is. You can pick a completely random topic, or it can be related to what your blog is. You need to really get to know them in that sense. So a great query or pitch letter will consist of 3 paragraphs. It will be no more than 400 words. It'll be written as a formal business letter. If you're not sure how to format a paper and formal business letter format, there are some templates on Microsoft Word and out there on the interweb that will provide you with some things to help you template your paper accordingly. It's written in the active voice, not passive voice. Remember, active voice states things like this article will include instead of saying this article could include. And it consists of 3 paragraphs nonetheless. One that's the hook, one that's the logistics, and the other one that's your credentials. The first thing we need to keep in mind is that we need to really know our publication. So what is their genre? What are they all about? Do they cover fashion, fitness, beauty, entertainment, spiritual ideas? Are they about Christianity, Christianity Today, things of that nature? What type of articles do they publish? You should look through their website, or if you have the actual print magazine, look through their magazines and figure out, do they publish how-tos? Do they have a lot of profiles? Do they have recipes? Do they do reviews? Are these lengthy features with in-depth concepts and ideas? Who's their target audience? Is this magazine geared towards adults? Is it geared towards teens, men, women, pastors, students, etc.? And then you need to research the past. A well-written pitch letter or query letter will have looked at and know what they have covered for the last 6 to 12 months. You'll also know that magazines work on an advanced calendar schedule. So they work about 6 months ahead of time. So if it's May, they're already working on their Christmas and Thanksgiving issue. Keep that in mind. If it's December, they're working on their summer issues. The production cycle for a magazine and a publication of that sense is very lengthy because it takes time to research, develop the articles, print it, lay it out, and design it, and all of those things. If you're pitching for an online-based article, that production cycle may be shortened, but they're still working probably about 3 to 4 months out. So keep that in mind as you pitch articles. It may not be a good idea to pitch a summer article in the summer. In the summer, you may be looking towards fall or winter or things of that nature. So keep that in mind and make sure you know your publication. The second thing you're going to do is hook the editor. This is in paragraph 1. Paragraph 1 is where you're going to summarize your pitch, that is your idea, with a lead. To review leads, because we have written about leads already, is a lead is something that hooks the reader. Most common types of leads used in pitch or query letters are anecdotal leads or summary leads or a quote. So an anecdotal lead is simply that. It's a sentence or a lead sentence that gives an anecdote about something related to your topic, and a summary lead is something that's summarizing your topic. Think of a creative way to convince the editor to continue to read your letter. Remember, in number 3, paragraph 2, you will be writing about all the details. So if you don't convince them in the first paragraph to keep reading, they may not read on. So make sure that you give concise, pertinent details about your article. It's important to think ahead. It's important to tell them all about your article. What type of article is it? What research have you completed? What research do you need to do? Give it an ideal word count. State what section it can fit in. So make sure you know your publication. If I'm pitching to Parents Magazine and I want to pitch something related to special needs because my doctoral work and my dissertation has been related to that, I'm going to make sure that I clarify that. This is related to development, or this is related to family life and living with a kid with special needs. So make sure you know what section it can fit in. Tell the editor why it's great for their publication and why what they've covered before hasn't given that unique edge to what you want to cover for them in this article. That's really important because there's a chance that they may have covered how to make the greatest tablescape for Thanksgiving. Why is yours relevant to today, and why should it be published this year? You should address that in your paragraph 2. Once you've completed paragraph 2, you'll move to paragraph 3. This is the 4th step where you're going to impress, impress, and impress. This is your credibility. This is where you give them your length of experience, your credentials, why they should hire you, what sets you apart. Briefly tell the editor about what you've done, who you are, what experience you have, and then the last sentence should close the letter, thanking them for their consideration and that you look forward to working with them in the future. So that's really the nutshell in paragraph 1, 2, or 3 of what you'll be doing in your query letter. After that, you can include clips. It's an industry-specific word that stands for sample work. You can look at any published work, any written work that has been published in print or online for viewing. You can use your student publication work. You can use things from your blog you've written for this class or anything you've done that's relevant for that. You also do not have to be limited in your query letter to writing something related to writing a story for them. If you're a photographer, you can tell them that you want to pitch to be a photographer for them on a story of this choice, or you want to do a photo story or a photo package for them. It's whatever you think might be necessary. Traditionally, when you submit your query, you'll submit it in one of two ways. The old school way, up until about the advent and the sophistication of the internet about 20 years ago, was to send it through traditional mail. You would print it out, you would copy your clips, you would include a self-addressed stamped envelope and put it in an envelope and send it to them. You would want to see a large envelope with the details about your assignment coming back. You would not want to see your self-addressed stamp because that means that they rejected your email, your query. Today, we typically use email to do this. This means we are moving away from some of the more formal business letter formats. However, there is still some formality within that. For this assignment, you are drafting it as if it would be a printed query letter. So if you did it in an email, the body of the email would include your query and you would put links and attachments for your clips. If you see a formal letter that politely declines, that's fine. You would want to see a reply that welcomes you to the team and is more personal in nature. To recap, the week 3 agenda asks you to go through the Sloan White and Rhode Island text this week, as well as working on your reflection number 2 and writing assignment number 2, which is the query letter. If you have any in addition to blog number 3, if you have any questions, let me know. I look forward to interacting with you and working with you this week, and pray you all have a blessed week. God bless.